The following information is intended for educational purposes only. It is not medical advice. The views expressed do not necessarily reflect those of A Rude Awakening International nor this broadcaster. Should you choose to implement this information, please do so only with the assistance of a licensed medical professional. Neither the presenter nor A Rude Awakening International nor this broadcaster assume any responsibility for any adverse effects or consequences that may result.
You may have seen a shifting trend on grocery store shelves, where you would normally see whey protein or even plant-based protein. Collagen protein supplements are spreading like wildfire, but it's for reasons more than just having healthy skin. So what is it good for? And why do so many people swear by collagen protein to live fuller and healthier lives? Well, today we'll talk to America's foremost expert on collagen proteins and collagen peptides, Dr. Josh Axe. And he's about to give you a health awakening. Welcome to the Health Awakening. I'm your host, Scott Laird. Whey protein and even plant-based protein supplements are making way for a new superstar, collagen protein or collagen peptides. Historically, collagen was considered mainly for skin issues, but many don't realize that collagen is also an excellent form of protein.
I am so excited to introduce
Dr. Josh Axe knows all about it. He is the co-founder of Ancient Nutrition and is one of the foremost naturally minded doctors in America. He has been featured on numerous health programs, including multiple appearances on the Dr. Oz Show. Dr. Axe, welcome to the Health Awakening.
Awesome. Hey, thanks for having me. Excited to be here.
So for those unfamiliar with this hot new product, let's get right down to the basics. What exactly is collagen protein or collagen peptides?
So collagen is a form of protein that makes up actually about 30% of all the protein in our bodies. And so most people are familiar when they think of protein as sort of muscle building protein, which you get from things like beef and eggs and chicken and fish. But collagen is another form of protein that's really important for other areas that are non-muscular of our body. So, for instance, our skin, our hair, our nails, bones, discs, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, fascia, our gut lining, our arterial walls. All of those areas are made up of collagen. So when we're consuming muscle-building proteins, you're not giving your body the building blocks it needs for collagen. Actually, a lot of people today develop skin issues, digestive issues, or joint pain and related issues because they're not getting enough collagen in their diet. So again, there's really two main types of protein, muscle building and collagen building. And collagen, again, is what makes up our joints and connective tissue, our gut, and certain areas of our body.
So it's quite possible that someone is taking a muscle-building protein, even a vegan plant-based one, and as they're building muscle, they may be hurting their joints and doing nothing to help it. Is that what we're saying here?
Yeah, I really think it's important. I think the research in the future is going to continue to show that we need a balance. Just like we need a balance of omega-3 fats and omega-6 fats to balance out inflammation in the body, we need a balance of muscle-building and collagen-building proteins in order to be healthy. In fact, there are studies showing that consuming too much muscle-building protein or having that imbalance may actually affect lifespan versus consuming more collagen-building protein can actually support liver detoxification, can support anti-aging and looking younger. So, and here's the truth. Most people today are getting about 0 grams of collagen in their diet. Our ancient ancestors got it from drinking things like bone broth. We drink very little bone broth today compared to our ancestors, and because of that, the health of our skin, hair, nails, and our overall beauty and our digestive systems and joints are suffering because we're not getting this critical form of protein.
So is that where this started? I mean, I seem to think that before I saw the collagen supplements on the shelf, we saw bone broth. Is that where this whole thing started?
Well, again, I think for a lot of people, as we, on occasion, we start to go back and look at what did our ancient ancestors do to be healthy? And as research is catching up, we're finding there are certain things missing in our diets. And one of the biggest things missing, along with probiotics and along with certain vitamins and nutrients, everything from zinc and vitamin D, we're also missing collagen. So really, I think medical research showed this, but I think before that, there are a lot of people that are natural health experts, whether it be myself, or or other experts in the space who knew this truth, because our medical system today focuses solely on what is a pharmaceutical company who's funded by trillions of dollars, what do they say health is versus what are ancient physicians from Hippocrates? What did people consume in traditional Chinese medicine, Ayurvedic medicine? What did these physicians recommend? And the number one food thing that they recommended for healing certain conditions was broth, specifically bone broth.
So how does someone who has maybe adopted a vegan or vegetarian lifestyle, how do you convince them that, hey, you know what, you're missing this?
I think for vegans it's hard. I think for them, the thing that they have to cope with is that if they're doing it for an ethical reason, then in many cases they're going to be trading their own health for their belief system. And listen, I've worked with thousands of vegans over the years, and listen, I know some vegans that are super healthy. And they've lived to be over 100 years old. So it can be done. But there are some who develop severe deficiencies. So if somebody's a vegan, what I would say is, and I've taken care of a lot of vegans who decided I am going to still consume collagen, and that's going to be the one area of their diet they're going to compromise on by getting a healthy source of collagen, whether it be from wild caught fish or something like that. But I do think vegans are better off doing it. Now, if somebody just decides, hey, no matter what, I won't drink any animal product or do anything whatsoever, then consuming herbs that were used in Chinese medicine to build what's called your qi or your overall, essentially your stem cells can help. So some of those herbs can be like faux tea, Romania, Schisandra, most herbs nobody's heard of. Those herbs can support your body and tissue regeneration.
Now, are they as good as collagen, or is collagen the champion here?
No, there's really no replacement for collagen. Again, it's like saying, is there a replacement for vitamin C or probiotics? There is no replacement. There's other indirect ways you can support your body, but no, collagen, you can only get it really from bone broth and from the skin of animals.
All right. Well, we were talking a very interesting topic here, collagen protein, with Dr. Josh Axe. Stay with us. We'll be back with more from The Health Awakening.
Most of us should be getting between 1 and 3 servings of collagen every single day. In fact, 1/3 of all of the protein in your body is collagen protein, or should be.
And welcome back to The Health Awakening. Today we're talking with Dr. Josh Axe about collagen protein, collagen peptides, and who needs it, who needs more of it perhaps. So Dr. Axe, why would someone want to consider this type of protein that they see on the shelf now in form of a supplement instead of, or even in addition to, their whey or plant-based protein?
Yeah, really, here's the truth is when we're talking about health, nobody needs whey protein. Nobody needs plant proteins because you're already getting these in your diet. In fact, when you're consuming whey protein, if you consume dairy or eggs or fish or beef or chicken, you're already getting that exact type of protein for the most part in your diet, a muscle building protein. Now, of course, whey is absorbed a little faster. So if somebody's a bodybuilder, then it might make sense for them. But for everyone else, it doesn't make sense. Plant-based proteins, if you're eating rice, if you're eating beans, nuts and seeds, mushrooms, you're already getting this type of protein in your diet. I believe supplements are for supplementing things you're not getting in your diet. And that's what's so amazing about collagen, like buying a multi-collagen protein or a bone broth protein, is these forms of protein that are rich in collagen are things that you're typically not getting in your diet. And so people, especially that are looking to transform their digestive health or the health of their joints, and people looking to support the health of their beauty, their skin, hair, and nails, they're all kind of getting rid of their whey proteins and those proteins, and instead they're starting to use collagen-rich proteins or bone broth proteins, which are also very rich in collagen.
Now, speaking of different ways, I think maybe some people could have guessed, well, hair and nails, sure, they might say, but I want to ask you 2 things. Number 1, digestion. What can it do to help the digestive system?
Well, again, it's really critically important to know what your body's made up of. And so your gut lining is made up of collagen. And, imagine what happens. A lot of people get a lot of inflammation in their gut. Over time, that can cause conditions. One of them is called leaky gut syndrome, which is really at the root cause of autoimmune disease today. But a lot of people have digestive inflammation. And in order to repair that damaged area, your body needs collagen, those building blocks, to repair itself. And so really, people with digestive issues can do really well on bone broth and on collagen protein because it's what makes up that area of their body. Also, it's very easy to digest. If somebody has a digestive issue, the ideal diet they should be following is a diet that is gentle and easy on the body. That way it's giving your body rest and time to recover for itself. So, people with digestive issues should not be eating raw vegetables. They shouldn't be eating raw nuts and seeds. They should be doing like soups and things that are easily digested is the most healing, and foods that are anti-inflammatory, and foods that are actually drying, like bitter herbs. Ginger is a perfect herb to consume for people with digestive issues.
Now, number two, the other question with that was, so athletes. My daughter's an athlete. She actually has some back issues due to her discs. Now, just for her purpose, would collagen peptides help something like that?
Absolutely. In fact, a lot of athletes now are switching out their other proteins and buying bone broth proteins or multi-collagen proteins because they want to support their ligaments, joints, and tendons. Think about this. How many athletes tear muscles? It's not very frequent. Most athletes tear ligaments and tendons. They tear their ACL. They have low back pain, knee pain from cartilage degeneration. They're rarely tearing muscles. They're tearing Achilles tendons or your anterior cruciate ligament. And so it's important that especially athletes are getting bone broth and collagen in their diet every single day. In fact, of all the population, it's just as important or more important that athletes are getting collagen in their diet, especially because there's so much stress on their connective tissues.
Now, collagen peptides, collagen protein, I've seen both of these on the store shelves. Are they the same thing, or are there some slight differences there?
Yeah, so when buying collagen, I think it's really critical that people buy something titled multi-collagen protein. Multi-collagen proteins will have multiple forms of collagen. So when people have just collagen protein, it has typically 1 to 2 sources of collagen, when in fact your body has over 20 different types of collagen that make it up. So just like you don't want a single vitamin, you tend to want a multivitamin. You also want a multi-collagen protein. And with a bone broth protein, that tends to be sourced from either chicken or beef. And one of the great benefits of buying a bone broth protein, if it's from chicken, is that it's also going to have high levels of what are known as collagen boosters. Those are called glucosaminoglycans, and they include hyaluronic acid, glucosamine, and chondroitin sulfate. And those 3 glucosaminoglycans not only essentially what they do is they boost your body's own collagen production. And that's why bone broth protein in some cases for people can be even more beneficial than a collagen protein, because it not only has collagen, but it also has all these other cofactors that support your body in creating and producing more collagen on its own.
Now, I was going to ask you that. Now, as far as being organic, for example, everybody's always wanting to buy organic this, organic that, thinking it's the best. Now, does collagen have to come from an organically raised animal, or does that not matter so much when we're talking about this?
For the most part, it doesn't matter as much as long as you are buying a source that is free of antibiotics, steroids, growth hormones, doesn't have heavy metals. So buying from a company that tests their product, I do think is important for that. And the truth is, there's really not enough source in the U.S. organically for people to buy organic collagen today. And so a lot of people are sourcing collagen from Argentina and South America and areas in the sort of in Northern Europe. And they don't necessarily have the same organic standards with all those farms. Well, let me say this. Their standards are just as high as organic, but they don't have that certified organic label. And so most people know that. I just know that because of the sourcing of the materials, and I know where the collagen's coming from. And it's kind of like saying, when you go to your local farmer's market, is everything have the USDA certified organic seal? No, but it doesn't mean it's not as good. It's just that sourced collagen today, there aren't a lot of the organic producers of collagen in terms of where they're at regionally throughout the world.
All right, we're speaking with Dr. Josh Axe about collagen protein. More from the Health Awakening in just a moment.
Collagen is critical for so many areas of your body. In fact, did you know that more than 70% of your skin, hair, nails, bones, discs, connective tissue, fascia, ligaments, tendons, all of those different areas of your body are made up of mostly collagen?
And welcome back to the Health Awakening. We've been talking with Dr. Josh Axe about collagen proteins and why it may be better for athletes than even the muscle building protein, because they're missing that in their diet. So Dr. Josh Axe, thanks again for joining us. And I want to ask you one more question. Is there a better collagen to look for on the shelf, or what kind of things should we be looking for on the label?
Yeah, so when buying collagen, again, I think it's critical that people look for multiple types of collagen. So when you're buying collagen, it should say the word multi, just like multivitamin on it. And you want sources of type 1, 2, 3, 5, and 10 collagen. Type 1 and 3 collagen come from beef and wild fish. That's going to really support your skin, hair, nails, and bones. Type 2 collagen, which comes from chickens, is going to really support your gut, your ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, and other areas of the body. Type 5 and 10 collagen, it comes from eggshell membranes. If you ever crack open an egg, there's kind of a little thin film inside the shell. That's a really unique form of collagen that has type 5 and 10 that actually is part of what makes up our arterial walls. And so again, when people are buying collagen, they want to look for a source that says multi-collagen protein. And also, I'm a big believer in bone broth protein. Bone broth protein is just bone broth that's dehydrated and turned into a powder. And that personally is probably the thing that I consume the most in terms of as a supplement. Bone broth protein is rich in not just collagen, but glucosamine, chondroitin, and hyaluronic acid. A lot of people today are getting injections in their skin of hyaluronic acid for sort of beauty makeovers, for anti-aging, and people are getting it injected in their knee. Well, I'll say what's even better is consuming that internally. And bone broth protein has a super high dose of hyaluronic acid. So if people want to get not just the benefits of collagen, but all the benefits of hyaluronic acid, glucosamine, and chondroitin, then doing a bone broth protein is really probably the best way to go. But I kind of do one scoop of each, a multi-collagen protein, a bone broth protein, every morning in my sort of superfood smoothie that I personally consume.
Now, this product has not been around forever, so obviously you've been doing your practice for quite some time before this came around. So just personally, what kind of differences have you noticed when you've taken this?
Yeah, so for myself, I was pretty amazed at how different my hair was. I noticed my hair had more volume and grew out faster. My nails got, I felt like I noticed they were stronger because of this. And so I noticed a big difference specifically in my hair, skin, and nails. But the other thing, just the way my gut and joints felt, I think those are the other two big areas. And as I've worked with thousands of people over the year, including my past practice when I took care of patients in the past and people I still care for today, I've noticed incredible changes in their health, especially in regards to gut health, their skin health, and really their joints, the way their joints feel. And I have my mom who's 67, takes these products every single day, and my wife and our family. So again, I'm a big believer in this product. And for the other thing, when I was in practice, I recommended all my patients take bone broth, but it was so hard because they had to make it all the time, and they would drive out, have to buy organic bones. Took them 24 to 48 hours to make it, and it was so much work. Now the fact that somebody can get bone broth in a powder form and drink that in a smoothie and get all the bone broth that way for their health, it's been a really game changer for people who need bone broth in their diet. Now they can get it in an easy, convenient form every day.
The bone and the joint issues with chondroitin and glucosamine that you've mentioned, people, if they look on the back of some of the supplements they're taking for their joints, they'll notice those two compounds in there, which I think is great to get it in the natural form.
Well, it's amazing that, you could take a bone broth protein and get not just 20 grams of collagen, but you're going to get all of those other nutrients as well, which is what makes bone broth such an amazing superfood.
Now, you have developed a product with Jordan Rubin with Ancient Nutrition. I want you to tell us about your multi-collagen protein.
Yeah, so we created what we believe is the ultimate collagen supplement out there. And this was what we personally wanted to take, what I wanted the thousands of people I've cared for over the years to take. And so it's a tasteless powder. We also have flavors like chocolate, vanilla. We have a strawberry lemonade. And so people can pick up the product at health food stores nationwide. It's at Target It's at Whole Foods Market. It's at Vitamin Shop. And so again, people can go in there and just say, hey, can I get Dr. Axe's Ancient Nutrition Multi-Collagen Protein? And people can find it in stores really nationwide. But again, we put in those multiple sources of collagen from chicken, from grass-fed beef, from wild fish, from eggshell membrane to kind of create the ultimate collagen supplement.
All right, well, we're talking with Dr. Josh Axe about multi-collagen protein. We'll be right back to wrap it up in just a minute. And welcome back to the Health Awakening. Dr. Josh Axe, we want to give you just a couple more minutes to talk about the product you developed with Jordan Rubin. And again, why did you create this one? Was there a need for this? You saw that things weren't quite lining up with what you wanted to see on store shelves?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is a huge need. And anytime I personally, create a product, I want to see a need in the marketplace. And people were not putting out quality supplements and quality collagen. And so myself and Jordan really searched the globe for the highest quality collagen on the planet, something that we ourselves would be comfortable consuming in our families. And we found just the most amazing sources. And so, myself and Jordan also own 5,000 certified organic acres of land in Missouri and practice regenerative farming. So we're big believers in taking care of the planet and the health of millions around the world. And so that's why we created this product. And we know people can experience amazing benefits in their gut, their joints, and of course, their beauty by taking this product.
All right, well, thank you for joining us again today, Dr. Axe. Our guest has been Dr. Josh Axe. You can find all kinds of great health news, nutrition information, dietary advice, and recipes all at his website, draxe.com. That's DRAXE.com. Dr. Josh Axe, thank you again for joining us today.
Awesome. Hey, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
All right, we'll see you next time for another Health Awakening. Thank you for joining us today on the Health Awakening. You can catch the replay of this episode and see our complete show schedule at healthawakening.tv. For more information about our guests today and all they have to offer, please visit their website on the bottom of your screen. And please remember, the information you saw today is for educational purposes only. It is not medical advice, nor do the views expressed reflect those of this broadcaster. Should you choose to implement this information, please do so only with the assistance of a licensed medical professional. Neither the presenter nor this broadcaster assume any responsibility for any adverse effects or consequences that may result. Thank you.